Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great Thirsty Thursday. We'll be live streaming tonight the Packers versus the Titans game. That should be, hopefully, it'll be a good game. I hope it'll be a good game. I'm hoping that Aaron Rodgers and crew will actually be playing like they did against us, where they had kind of a run first, run first mentality. And it's kind of crazy because they were behind most of the game, but you know what's funny? They didn't abandon the run. Anyway, we'll dig into that a little bit more later. Um, we have some news on the Cowboys as far as the injury front goes. We're hearing that Zeke Elliott is actually looking really, really good. And to me, as I talk about the running game for the Dallas Cowboys, and here's the problem: is everybody is into fantasy football and loving the numbers and all the touchdown passes and everything else, but football, sorry, running the football is still key. And the Cowboys have actually been one of the more successful teams when they run the football. Now the problem is Tony Pollard is an incredible talent, and you want Tony Pollard to be fresh when he has that opening so he can take it to the house. And that's where Zeke Elliott really comes into play for us, where he can kick up those hard yards. He can take that pounding. He can soften up the underbelly as well. It's not that I'm saying that Zeke is better than Tony Pollard. By no means am I. It's still, we need both of those guys. We need to carry the ball. I think 30 rushes a game. I honestly believe that, because then teams are going to have to respect it. Here, let me give you a little crazy stat here. The Cowboys are averaging 4.7 yards per rush. 4.7 yards per rush. That's one of the better numbers in the NFL. To give you an idea, would you believe that's almost a half yard more than what the Eagles are averaging per rush? Bet you didn't know that. Would you believe that's zero point 0.8 yards better than the Washington Commanders, who, mind you, used the running game to beat the Philadelphia Eagles? They're averaging 3.9 yards a carry. 3.9 yards a carry. And yet, they didn't abandon the run. And this is where getting Zeke back, hopefully healthy, and can be healthy the rest of the season, is going to be important for the Cowboys. Um, Tank Lawrence, who you'll remember last year in practice ended up breaking his foot, where he missed about 9 weeks or so, which definitely hurt the defense. Tank Lawrence, who is our best run stopper, injured his foot a little bit in the game on Sunday. They kept him out of practice yesterday as a precaution. He should be okay and practicing, possibly practicing today, which will be another light practice. Great news may be this one. Great news may be that Tyron Smith, um, is now going to team meetings. He's sitting in there, as we go through and develop the game plan and stuff. He's working out on the bands. Um, he had, as you guys remember, basically ripping his hamstring off the bone, which was surgically repaired. He is beginning to work out on the bands and may be a few weeks away from being able to be inserted to the roster. Now, and this will be one of the things, probably after about 4 o'clock today, I'm going to be doing some stuff with Brother Roz, where questions will be if I'm an idiot or not. But I believe that, Tyler Smith has had, in comparison to when we've lost Tyron Smith before, where we have just fallen apart on the offensive line, Tyler Smith has done great for a rookie. He's done great in comparison to guys like Chaz Green, and Ty Nasekis and stuff. We have been good. We have been actually able to run the ball 6.1 yards to the left-hand side. But Tyler Smith still gets quite a few penalties and still has given up some pressures and some sacks. And this is where you start looking and saying, if Tyron Smith is healthy, the big guy, you got to put him in. You got to put him in, and you look at Tyler Smith, who is still just moving over one spot. Playing guard and tackle are two different things. But it's not like we're saying, Tyler Smith, go play right guard, where now everything is reversed. He worked out at left guard. And I dare say that Tyler Smith, maybe even a little bit behind being the left guard, is going to be better than Connor McGovern. And if you can get a 90%, 85% Tyron Smith at left tackle, and Tyler Smith there at guard, then you've got road graders and you can get back to really running the football. Let me pull up something here real quick, if I can. If you guys have a moment. I want to pull up Tony Romo's stats, because this is one of those things that's crazy, is the difference of being able to run the football versus not run the football. And looking at Tony Romo's stats, when I look at, I got to move the camera a little bit here so it's not blocking the screen. When you look at the most yards that Tony Romo threw in his career in a season, the Dallas Cowboys record of 4,903 yards. Incredible. It was incredible. Dak Prescott has one season where he's 1 yard short of that. The interesting thing is he ended up having 28 touchdown passes that year. It's good. But 19 interceptions. The next year, if I told you that he threw only 3,800 yards, 1,100 yards less than the year before, you'd say, boy, that was a bad year. Right? I'm sorry. 1,200 yards less. 1,200 yards less. You'd say, damn, what happened? What happened was the Cowboys ran the football. Because as I go through the statistics here, in that 2012 season where he threw for 4,903 yards, the team went 8-8. He had 28 TDs and 19 interceptions, and he ended up having a 65.6 completion percentage. Go 2 years later with DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray, who rushed for 1,800 yards. He was basically the only running back that was carrying the football. Here's what's crazy. He threw 1,200 yards less, but had 3 more touchdowns. 34 touchdown passes. And he only had 9 interceptions. And he had a 69.9% completion percentage. The crazy thing is, during that season, he only had 2 games that he threw for more than 300 yards. That, my friends, is the difference. And one other note on this too. That year that he threw for 4,903 yards, he averaged 7.6 yards per pass. That year that we had a balanced attack, he threw for 8.5 yards per pass. It's not rocket science, guys. It's not rocket science. Running the football is important. When you talk about having 4% more completions percentage, when you talk about having easier touchdowns, talking about 3 more touchdowns in a season, and 10 less interceptions, and 1 yard more per pass, this is where I just believe that the Cowboys are just stupid. And you have a rushing attack that's in the top 10 as far as yards per carry. We always think of the Eagles as a running team, but the Cowboys are more successful with it. They just don't use it enough. Okay, good people. Hopefully I'll see you guys tonight during the live stream. Peace.